Mm.
All right, everybody. I have a special treat for all of us today. We have Spencer and Jovina.
Mhm.
I caught your story on World Carnivore Tribe in the Facebook group, and I thought it was fascinating. So here we have a 52-year-old mom and a
Yes.
12-year-old son, the youngest carnivore that I've come across.
Mhm.
So I was just fascinated by this. Okay. Now, I don't know about you, Jovina, but when I was 12 years old, my mom was feeding me Lunchables, and craft dinner. Okay.
Mhm.
There's no steak, right? So as far as I'm concerned, Spencer, you have the coolest mom in the world. But so what on earth brought you guys to the carnivore diet?
Well, Spencer, I didn't know that carnivore was a thing, but oddly enough, I used to call him a carnivore because he just chose to only eat meat. And he, at about 4 years old, when he was able to start rejecting options, he just stopped eating the fruit, stopped eating the vegetables, the bread, the potatoes, like everything, and never wanted candy, never asked for it. He trick-or-treating, but he never ate the candy. So he just chose to only partake in eating meat, and he liked it, and he drank a lot of milk. He does about 4 to 5 gallons of milk a week, always has, and he eats meat. So, like you said, moms offer more of a variety. So when he started school, I would pack his lunch. He would never eat school lunch because I knew he would not eat. So I would pack his lunch every day, and I felt like, the monitors in the lunchroom are going to see that my son doesn't have a variety, and they're going to think I'm a terrible mom. Put a variety except for the meat. So everything else, the granola bar, the fruit, everything else came back except for the meat. So that's how it started with him. With me, 6 months ago, my older son said, we should try this carnivore diet. And my first response was, well, how am I going to eat pizza? Like, that's not going to work for me. So, but I committed to it. And I committed to be very strict. I didn't ease into it. I just, on a Saturday in May, I just said, I'm starting today. And I only did meat and water. And I have always done 1 cup of coffee a day. People will dispute that that's carnivore, but just 1 cup a day. And I did not use dairy. I didn't use dairy for a month. And then I introduced it, but I noticed my results weren't as good. So then I pulled back again. So in order to get my froth on my coffee, I would use a collagen powder, and I would use egg white. And so that's kind of how we start.
Wow. Okay. So Spencer has been carnivore pretty strict, maybe the odds, something else here and there, right?
Yeah.
For 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Any sort of health problems,
Nope.
anything? Honestly, nothing.
No.
Nothing.
Honestly, the last time he's visited a hospital was before, at the age of 4, before he was really transitioned. He was said to have had asthma, and he plays basketball, and he plays hard, sometimes double headers with practice before and in between the games. And he's never used an inhaler. He doesn't really get breathing treatments anymore. And that's it. And since then, he's never sick. We go every year for our annual physicals, but he's never sick.
And Jovina, what has your health been like since you transitioned to carnivore? How are you feeling? Have you seen any negative effects at all as well?
No, I haven't had any negative effects like that are long-term health wise at all. I've had some interesting episodes, but then I'm learning as I go. So once I start experiencing something, I'll head out to the carnivore groups, and I'll figure out like what's going on. Is this normal? Has anybody else experienced this? And people will give you some feedback, some advice maybe, and I'll pick and choose, and I'll use what comes from experienced people, and usually it just fixes my problem. So I've had some things like some leg cramps in the middle of the night. I don't have those anymore, but I did go through that. But most of what I experienced was in the first month. And I went into ketosis pretty fast and fat adapted pretty fast. And even when I went to the doctor for my annual physical, she was impressed. The nurse said I inspired her, and that when I come back next time, she's going to be a totally different person, and she's going to start the carnivore diet immediately. So people are usually amazed that, at my age, that, physically, I'm also very healthy. What I have noticed in terms of improvement is my skin, because even though I'm older, 52 years old, I still would break out. So my skin is much more clear. My hair is much fuller. And I don't have any aches and pains when I get out of bed in the morning. I used to kind of explain it kind of like I was rusty, like the Tin Man, until I'd start moving around, and then I'd start moving. I don't have that anymore at all.
Yeah, and people,
even though I don't work out.
yeah, people were commenting on your pictures in World Carnivore Tribe, and I was almost in disbelief. I'm like, there's no way she's 52 years old. So that's phenomenal. And Spencer here looks like Captain America to me. So, so yeah, how tall are you, Spencer?
5'8", 5'9".
5'8", 5'9".
No, you went to the doctor for your physical. You were 5'10". Yeah.
So about 5'9", 5'10". For 12
Yeah.
years old, that's a big boy. It must be all that meat. But so, Spencer, I'm curious. Okay, so you've been eating pretty much just meat since you were 4 years old. I mean, what has the reaction been to that? Like, in terms of like friends and social life and stuff like that. Does anyone comment on that, or what do you see?
Not really.
No?
I just eat meat.
Yeah. How about you, Jovina? Have your friends thought maybe it's a bit weird? You go to a restaurant, you just order a steak. Like, what's your sort of social life been on this diet?
No, people haven't really criticized that. They welcome my sides, and so they usually get my sides. And that was the same thing with Spencer forever. Dad wasn't carnivore, and so Spencer, if we go out to eat with anybody, we let them know, like, Spencer's only going to eat the meat. So if anybody wants his sides, and yeah, everybody welcomes the sides, but then you do hear, you really should make that kid eat vegetables. So it hasn't been too, I guess there hasn't been too many opinions about, that it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
And he's always been so healthy and fit that nobody questions it.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. We were talking before the podcast, like I send my daughter to daycare. She's 4 years old, and she's always loved meat. She's just like, she likes the ribeye steak. She likes the ground beef. She likes hot dogs. Like, she likes that kind of stuff. Right. And you put fruit in front of her, you put anything else in front of her, and mostly she doesn't like it. She's always asking for eggs or sausage or whatever. So, and sometimes I feel like I'm being judged as a parent a little bit, because I send her a daycare, and, I'll send her to daycare and serve other foods I know she won't eat. I'm wasting my money, but I send them anyway, just because I'm worried that the daycare might say something, right?
Yes.
So I understand how, it could be a bit of a weird situation, but, so Spencer, what is it about meat? I guess you've been doing this since you're 4, so it's probably just something you don't even think about, but so you don't like sugar, I mean, most humans are prone to be sugar addicts, right? What do you like to eat? First off, tell me what you like to eat.
I like steak. I like bacon. I like nuggets. I like salmon. It's just all meat, all protein. I like
What's
that.
your favorite steak?
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
My favorite steak.
Your favorite cut?
Steak.
Ribeye.
Ribeye, yeah. You like the fat? You like it when it's like nice and crispy, the fat around that? Or you like a good rare steak?
I like a rare steak.
You like a rare steak? Okay, interesting choice for a 12-year-old. So is there any sort of plant food at all that you will eat?
Popcorn, but yeah.
Okay. You pour the butter on it, though, I'm sure.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
An occasional chocolate chip cookie.
yeah, but
Okay.
It's not any chocolate chip cookie. It has to be the one that was like bakery chocolate chip cookies.
Okay, so it has to be a special. Okay, I hear you.
Mhm.
And Javina, so how are you feeling on this diet in terms of like, do you think that this is something you'd like to do long term? And what about the rest of your family? Are they sort of leaning more carnivore now as well?
Well, when I started, my son started as well, my older son.
All right, yeah.
And he's done well on it, but he doesn't stick to it as much. He does waver, when he goes out to eat. So he cheats, I guess you'd say. But he is primary meat based. And for me, I do not cheat. Like I stick to it. And it's basically, as I started seeing results, that motivated me through my craving phase. Now, like I could be somewhere with somebody and they could order something that I used to really enjoy, and it does not bother me at all. At all. I could stop and pick up something, for my daughter or her kids, donuts or anything, and it doesn't bother me at all. I don't even crave it.
Okay, so the improvements that you've seen in your health are enough to stop you from going elsewhere. So what have been the main improvements for you then?
The main improvements for me, because I was healthy, have been skin and hair and ideal weight. In that, and it didn't take 6 months. I dropped the weight pretty fast, and I lost 35 pounds. And I would say that was in 4 months. It seems like as I got closer to ideal weight, it just stopped. And then you just kind of go up and down 2 pounds, depending. I notice I will go up if I lessen my fat intake. I'll start gaining weight, which is so odd. It's everything that we always thought opposite.
Right.
So if I start gaining weight, I'll increase my fat intake and I'll drop my dairy, and then I will lose the weight again. And so that's just, I basically teeter right there, and at the 35 pounds that I had already lost.
Wow, 35 pounds. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. So are you guys involved in the carnivore space at all? Do you guys watch any channels like, Sean Baker, or, plant-based, meat-based guy, Paul Saladino, or anyone else like that? Or is it something you follow at all?
No, I've saved some of them in my favorites. Like they've been recommended online, and then I'll go and I'll watch some, and I'll subscribe, and then I'll keep an eye on what they're talking about. But I don't really follow. I'm definitely not experienced. I'm not an expert at all. So basically, I kind of have been learning as I go. And when I have questions, I jump in and I start digging keywords, and so that's basically how I've went through. I see a lot of people saying they eat like organs. I don't do that. Maybe I should, but I just don't know a lot about it. So I'm basically learning as I go, and I'm listening to my body. And so, like I said, I'll go in on the dairy, and then I'll notice that maybe I'm not feeling as good. Maybe I'll have like, hip and joint type, achiness. I'll slow down on the dairy again, cut it back out, and I'll start feeling better again. So sadly, I think that I need to be a little more strict and not have dairy. But I do eggs every day, bacon every day, ribeye at least 5 times a week. We do prime rib, we do T-bone. We'll do fish, we'll do some fish. And I've never had any problems with that. One thing I noticed that my body really responds well to is brisket. It really does, especially if I'm at a standstill. I know, like, cook a brisket and I'll get back on track. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a lot of fat.
Oh, yeah. Well, my wife's Jewish. We love a good brisket here. I have to say, Spencer, you really do have the coolest mom.
I can add is Spencer has never experienced anything like off the way I did. And that's probably because he naturally transitioned in and just was like that for so long. So he hasn't had some of the things that I've had. I mean, he's had maybe some growth pains, but never like cramps like in the middle of the night or odd poop or anything
Yeah.
weird. He's never had that. So maybe just because that's his normal diet.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, and how often are you guys eating, or do you just eat as you please?
Um, I could be 1 meal a day and be fine with that. So most days I'll do 1 meal a day and I just eat when I get hungry. And usually it's not till about 5 p.m. Now, sometimes, I do breakfast and dinner, but I mean, I can do either. I can either do the two or I can just do one. Spencer typically
I'm
does.
always changing. I sometimes I'm just really hungry all the time. Sometimes I could eat something and not eat anything else for the whole day.
Mhm.
It's just
Okay.
Yeah. We pretty much just, like we said earlier, we just listen to our body. If we're hungry, we eat. If we're not hungry, we don't eat. Yeah. There's
Okay.
been a time where I've had to make myself eat through this journey where I just totally lost my appetite. That was probably like in month 2. Or I hate to say this being carnivore and all, but there was a time where like I just couldn't, I would think about eating and think about, I just can't do it. Like I can't eat more meat. I can't. And it wasn't that I wanted anything else. My body just didn't want anything. So I would make myself eat just a little meal.
Yeah. Yeah. And Spencer, this is kind of great in a way, seeing young carnivores like this, because, there's been some speculation in the space that, humans are actually intended to live to 120, 130 years old. Some people have been talking about that, right? And this is kind of a new experiment for us, despite, I mean, it is ancestrally appropriate, but it's sort of in more modern, in a modern age. I mean, this is kind of a new experiment in a way, right? Being strict carnivore like this. So it should be very interesting. I'll probably be long gone, but we'll see if maybe you make it to 130 one day.
That'd be crazy.
So Spencer, what do you hope to do with your life? Do you have any plans for your future? Do you have any career plans? Anything I know it's a bit young for you, but is there anything that you have on your agenda?
I probably want to do architecture,
Yeah.
like building houses or the plans for houses.
Oh, cool. Okay. That's great. That's great. Well, I just want to thank you guys so much for coming on. I really, really appreciate it. I'm hoping that maybe we can get the whole family in, get the whole family carnivore. Javina, this is your mission. Get the whole family carnivore.
That'd be nice.
And we're going to do a follow-up with this. And Spencer, you need to help her out as well. Okay.
It'd be difficult.
Yeah, that would be really nice. I would like to see that. And I do have to tell them that, so the non-carnivores, they can't eat the way we eat meat, because when you eat those carbs, this is going to work against you.
Yeah.
So they think that, it's not that I don't want to share my ribeye, but if you eat this and then you continue to eat that, this is going to work against you. So
Yeah.
I tell them, you can't just go, partially in on, oh, I'm going to enjoy the meat part of it, but I'm still going to eat carbs and sugar, because if you do that, this meat is going to pack on. It works opposite for us because we don't eat the carbs and sugar at all. So, like I said, he enjoys popcorn. If we go to a movie, he's going to want popcorn, and I'm going to be okay with that. But that doesn't really mess him up, because it's, we don't even go to the movie every week. We go occasionally. And so what he does have outside of protein is fairly occasional. And so it doesn't affect him, but yeah, that's pretty important.
You know what? I stopped the recording. This is a clip after the fact, guys. I'm putting this in the interview here, but we're just talking about exploding grills. So first off, you have to tell us how your grill exploded, and second off, do you use an air fryer as well?
We
Because
do have
that's all I use.
Yes, we have an air fryer. I have not mastered steak in the air fryer, so maybe I need to do a little bit of research on that. But we use the grill every day. I have a grilling deck at my house, and it's plugged in to propane. Like we have propane for our house, and
Okay.
so we're wired in. So that thing gets a lot of miles. We grill every day, once for sure, if not twice. But just in the 6 months, like I couldn't believe it. I went out there and I turned the grill on, and I was just kind of getting situated, and the tray under the grill, I guess it just couldn't take the heat anymore, literally. And the tray, the whole piece just like exploded, and it just crumbled onto the floor. And so that's how much we use our grill. I maybe it was, I mean, we are in Georgia, and so maybe it was humidity, heat, humidity, heat, humidity, heat. I don't know, but it literally wasn't even metal anymore, or whatever it's made out of. It was like crumbs all over my deck.
See, I've heard about this happening. That's why I got 10-year warranty on mine.
Huh.
10-year warranty. No worries about the grill exploding.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah. And then my older son was down on the bottom, below the deck, and he's like, I can see the flames. Like it was just a wide open grill. Now, of course, we can't contain heat, so we're gonna have to figure it out and get it fixed again. But now we've been just frying our steak in bacon grease and butter.
Yeah, well, we should do a separate video on carnivore problems, because my air fryer, my wife gets so mad at me. Our air fryer is just a grease bin. It's disgusting. I try scrub it. I do everything I can. It's one of those air fryer ovens. I'm scrubbing it day and night. I'm throwing tons of alcohol and crap all over it. It never, it just doesn't clean. I don't get it.
Yes, I've never in all my life, but I've never used a grill this much, but I've never had a grill like the bottom piece just burst. Never seen it.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
And then, you know, another big problem with me in carnivore, to be honest with you, is the greasy clothes. Okay. I don't know about you guys. I can't get these damn spots of grease off my pants. You know, it looks like I peed in my pants. I got grease all over me. I'm eating. I have to put like a bib on, like a 3-year-old, so I don't get grease all over my shirt. Do you guys have that problem as well?
No, I don't think
Not
so.
me.
No, no, the stove gets rather greasy now that we're frying a lot, because the grill, I need to figure that out. I gotta either order a new piece or just come up with something else to fix that. But now that I'm cooking in the house, there is a lot more. I'm cleaning a lot more. But before that, we'd grill all day, every day.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
if you guys have any tips for me, anyone out there has any tips for me on how to get grease out of my pants, let me know, and how to stop our grills from exploding. That would be great.
Yeah.